Hi everyone, my name is Jasha and today I will be talking about LRE, which is also known as least restrictive environment. So least restrictive environment refers to the mandate under IDEA that students with disabilities should be educated to the maximum extent appropriate with their peers who do not have disabilities. In special education, this means that a student with disabilities has the right to be educated with students in the general education environment. The general education environment is considered the least restrictive setting because it is the placement in which there is the greatest measure of opportunity for proximity and communication with the ordinary flow of students in schools. So, under the LRE mandate, it is required that students are educated in less restrictive settings, and they also require that before students with disabilities are placed in more restrictive settings, that efforts must first be made in order to maintain them in a least restrictive setting with the use of supplementary aids and services. It is only when an appropriate education cannot be provided, even with the supplementary aids and services, that students with disabilities may be placed in more restrictive settings. Okay. So, a case that I found in our textbook was on page 245, and forgive me if I mispronounce any names. I'm not good with this. So, the case that I found was Schultz versus Mankato in 1991. So, in this case, there was a child by the name of Erica who was starting kindergarten, and she wanted to attend the elementary school closest to her house. So Erica was born with spina bifida, in which she was paralyzed from the waist down and had to use a lightweight wheelchair. So the school that she wanted to attend was called Roosevelt Elementary School, and however they were inaccessible for her as far as her being able to use her wheelchair. So her parents asked if the school could make accommodations for their daughter, and they said that they were not required to do so by law. So in this case, it said that the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 8th Circuit ruled that a school district did not have to make the neighborhood school wheelchair accessible for a student with spina bifida, since an elementary school only a few miles away was fully accessible. The court found that the school district satisfied its obligation under IDEA to provide a student with disabilities with a fully integrated public education by busing the child to a nearby school, and therefore did not violate the act by refusing to modify the neighborhood elementary school nearest to the child's home to make it accessible. So basically, the court ruled that because there was another school that was accessible within the neighborhood, that they were not required by law or under IDEA that they had to make their school accessible for her. So that was very disheartening to hear, just because it seemed as if the school did not want to make those accommodations for her. So I feel as a future school counselor that school counselor, educator, administrator, that it's important to make those necessary efforts to make students feel accepted and to ensure that they're receiving the education that they want. So if it takes making a school accessible for a student to be able to attend a school closest to them, closest to their home, so that they can get that education, then I feel that that's something that me as a school counselor I should advocate for. Also, I think it's important for me to hold my counterparts and my colleagues accountable in ensuring that these students are being placed in these general education environments and not being overlooked or placed in restrictive environments because they're a student with a disability. So just making sure that I work collectively with my colleagues and the people within my school that have a voice and have power, and that we just continue to work toward ensuring that these students are provided with an appropriate and free education, and ensuring that that is in a least restrictive setting if possible. So yeah, that's my take on LRE. Thank you.